have you heard of the anime Akira? You may or may, I forget how
I've
much.
heard, yes, and I immediately recognized the reference.
Did you the Akira slide? Did you see
The Akira slide. Although I find it a slight bit dumb, the Akira slide in a car.
Yeah, in a car it is kind of dumb. But it's there, baby. It's right
there.
in front of you.
Technically, they did reference Akira, and you can't say they didn't. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick, you well?
Quick, Dave, what's your favorite racing game of all time?
Of all time. I think it's the same. I think most people have this answer, at least I hope so. It's Need for Speed Underground 2. Because I'm relatively old.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Get those Riders of the Storm in here.
And yes, it's the same. Some people always show you that meme of the picture and then they say, what song can you hear? And it's always Riders in the Storm for me.
It's always Riders in the Storm.
Loved
yes,
that
it
song.
is. Yes, it is. And it's raining a bit.
It is, exactly. Granted, I'll give you another side one though. Carmageddon, which I know is probably, I think was out before you were even alive. But it's a classic racing zombie apocalypse car busting type game. That was also a big favorite of mine. But no, Need for Speed Underground every day.
I'm also going to say Need for Speed Underground 2,
Yeah.
but I'm going to throw you with the curveball. Have you heard of Revolt?
Revolt, as in like
Revolt.
uprising.
Revolt.
No, I've never heard of that before in my life. Is it a race? It doesn't even sound like a racing game.
I've just gotten used to calling it Revolt. I don't even know if it's Revolt. I'm going to call it Revolt. If everyone's listening to this and they know what game I'm talking about and it's called Revolt, I'm gonna ignore you.
Like now in my head, I'm trying to think, how do you spell it? Like
Revolt.
Yeah, Revolt.
It's an old. I can't remember on which console this was. I just played this on the PC. It's an RC racing game.
Oh yeah, I love those types of games. Okay, I'm seeing the picture of it now, like the Micro Machine type thing.
Yes. So you're driving around in RCs, and it's very creative, and the tracks are like miniaturized, almost like Hot Wheels Unleashed, and it's a lot of fun.
Exactly, like racing games used to be, just a ton of fun and a good arcade type jam, right? Yeah.
Yes. The reason I'm asking is because this week we actually have our very first proper racing game review on the show.
Yes.
And I cannot believe this because we're almost 150 episodes deep.
I know, right?
And this is our first racing game. Excuse me?
It's crazy. We skipped Forza. We didn't get Midnight Run. We didn't get Gran Turismo, whatever number it is now. We just the list, all hail the list, just did not want us playing racing games for some reason.
No, yes, you're right. This week we got Dave. How about you tell us?
This week we got a game which was, I know it was one of the trailers was in, I think, one of the Game Fests. I can't remember which year. It's the racing game Screamer, which is like a pretty arcade game. I was excited by this game because it had that arcade thing.
Yes.
I think most people, is this going to be, is it going to scratch that Need for Speed Underground itch? It's a company published and developed by Milestone, which I couldn't find that much else about.
Really? I've actually heard quite a bit about Milestone.
What games did they make?
Milestone, for the longest time, used to make the MotoGP series.
Oh, I did actually write that down. Why am I going mental? Yes, they did actually. Did I not write that down? Why am I going mental?
So they've got loads of real racing, motorbike racing sim games.
That's
but
right.
This is the first arcade racer they've done in a while.
Yeah, they were actually the serious car racing game type things, right? They were MotoGP, the rally games, I also think they. They were the really serious. If you're into bikes, into cars, you play these types of games.
You play these because these were simulators.
Yes, exactly. This is real life. If you can ride in these ones, you can ride a real.
But it feels like it's been a while since we've had a big budget AA arcade racer.
Yes. That's why this had the recipe to succeed, because I agree.
The only big budget races we get nowadays is I don't want to call it racing sims, but they're not arcade races. If you take a look at Forza Horizons,
yeah.
That's not arcade racing.
No, it's story based. It's realistic. It's fun.
Like
it's fun.
Lowercase r realistic.
Yeah, but it hasn't hit that arcade vibe. They're just good times. Ridiculous.
You
driving.
get a speed boost. You get to bump into someone.
Yes, exactly. It's supposed to be just inane, just fun. It isn't supposed to be realistic. And this is what this game really could have been. And
oh no. Could have.
And granted, did you also know this game was actually a reboot again of a 1995 video game called Screamer,
I did. That I knew. There was a Screamer back then, right?
Yes, and it was granted I'd never actually heard of it, but then granted not a big race car guy, so I'm sure people out there loved the game. But you and I have both said that we love reboots. We love taking old things, making them new again.
Oh hell yeah!
Kind of like being good.
I think. I love the amount of remakes they're getting. I just wish that they were balanced out with an equal amount of original new games.
Yes, agreed. Yes, that's the biggest problem.
But it seems to be that we've not struck that balance just yet.
No, sadly. Again, should we jump straight into the narrative then? Because
let's do that.
This is probably one of the better kind of. Now, I'm a big anime guy. I like anime. I like over-the-top stories. I like silliness. I like bravado and all the things that come with it. And this game kind of has that in bucket loads. It's set in a futuristic city named Neo Ray. Sorry, I'm saying that too quickly.
Neo Ray.
And it kind of does that same dystopian mega city where corporate billionaires are kind of controlling a lot of the space.
Yeah, and at this point, we've seen this city done a couple times over.
Yes, it is a few. It's not, again, for an arcade game, this would have been fine because the story is not that important. You just
exactly. All you really need for an arcade racer like this is for the city to be shiny.
Yes, this is just your track. People
exactly.
Don't care about
this is just to be. This only needs to look good. That's it.
And you sign up as multiple pit crews, which is kind of a fun narrative. I did enjoy. And for I love the prize money amount. The prize money amount was so ridiculous and so anime. For $100 billion.
$100 billion. That is such a ridiculous amount of money.
It
makes zero sense in my mind. I can't comprehend $100 billion.
I just
know it. Oh yeah, lots of money.
Yes, it's such a ridiculous amount of money, which again, very anime kind of inspired.
Yeah.
Ridiculous country levels of money. And then you play out, without letting in too many spoilers, you play out multiple scenarios to different race crews, and you're trying to, of course, win the money. But there's a kind of a sinister backstory with the mysterious Mr. M.
Mr.
I got his letter now. Mr. A. I knew it was a letter to some degree. Who's pulling some strings and has a special piece of kit that's attached to each car called the Echo device.
Yeah.
Which kind of doesn't let you die, but has a fun kind of moral question in regards to how that could be used. But the story kind of placates
the plot. Ladies and gents, the plot gets very anime and it stays anime.
It does. No,
a lot of people keep asking, what if we can take this Echo device and use it as a weapon?
Yes.
What if we can make unkillable soldiers?
That's right.
And
every
win
screamer
all the wars?
Goes dark. Yeah. Every screamer takes the Echo device and just purely dark with it.
But no, Mr. A, who's got a cape and a mask, is running a racing tournament in the city for $100 million. $100 billion.
$100 billion.
Excuse me.
That's not enough money.
It's so ridiculous. You can't help but like it.
It is. That's the thing about that's like anime story, and you do kind of like it. It's all got like it's kind of got the Tekken storylines. You know, when you play each character, and it's just ridiculous. I'm going to be the greatest fighter, or I lost my comatose daughter, and I need to get the same.
When all of a sudden I got punched by a wrestler that's got a leopard for a head.
Of course, that happens. Have you not done that? Many a time night out I've been hit by.
Yes, I, who am a panda, have been punched.
Yes, exactly. But it makes you smile when you just see the revenge plot. You see the my boyfriend died and we don't know how, so let's find out the mysterious death of my boyfriend and why he was burnt to death.
these aren't just regular races. You're right.
No, that's
this
very true.
person who's who has this dead boyfriend. This is a Japanese pop star group.
Of course. Kind of.
The Japanese pop star group is also a mega racer. Of course.
Yes,
These
so many
scientists
talented.
are also mega racers. Of course.
Right. Just
of
random
course.
brothers.
One of these pit crews is just the Yakuza.
Right. And the Japanese girl band kind of hit me with K-pop Demon Hunter vibes to like 3.
Oh yeah.
Right? But
Hell
very
yeah.
anime. Good for them. One thing I did like narratively, I did like that the Screamer race for the $100 billion was multicultural. It was races from around the world instead of just in like Japan or China. So you had Dutch, German, English, Irish, Japanese, South African, which is we'll talk on a bit later, Swedish. There were English. There was such a plethora of just like. Well, I like that. I like that there's different. It's an actually multicultural worldwide race for $100 billion, right? That was a cool. I like that narrative idea. It made you feel a bit more like this is the 100 billion is because it's a world event, not just a inside America.
It is a world event, and it feels. Why does it? Sometimes it felt a bit paper thin. Out of this world event,
yes, it really is.
All these cultures, there's 15.
It's thin as hell. Even mysterious Mr. A just pops in and disappears like so many times. He doesn't even speak. He just like he's there and then he's gone.
And then he's gone.
And it's like ooh. It reminded me of like old school like Sailor Moon or something like that where you just see. Oh no! You watched Inspector Gadget, right? You must have watched Inspector Gadget. And where the last scene is, I'll get you next time, Gadget, and he smashes the panel and his cat meows and stuff like that. It's always a mysterious. For half the season, or what felt like the majority of the game, that you know nothing about Mr. A and not even his motives to why he's doing it.
That's the big mystery. That's. I mean, each intriguing story has to have some level of mystery. If you've got more answers than questions. I mean, I can't see how you'd be interested in the narrative.
That's right. So to its credit, that is one of the benefits. But I'm a massive anime head, and I like these kind of things because it's daft and it's stupid and it's what you want in a world full of like serious shit. You want some daft and stupid sometimes. Anything else narrative without giving away too many spoilers?
I think you were right when you said that this narrative was a bit ambitious.
Yeah, it is a bit.
I wouldn't say it fully lands. Out of this entire city, this $100 billion race, there's 15 people.
Yeah, and they just add a crew as well. Which I thought later on they just we went through all the qualifiers, but now this new crew's been added because they know. It just felt weak. It's some of the bits do feel a little weak.
They realized, there's not a lot of competition.
Yeah,
let's just add these latecomers because they were interested.
And everyone's like, "Oh, damn! Oh, jeez, guys, this is so upsetting." But yeah, so narratively, it's not bad. Should we jump to visuals? What do you think visually of this game?
You know what? This does have a strong cyberpunk anime aesthetic.
Yes, very true.
And it does give the game a clear identity. Yes. If you showed someone a screenshot of this, I think most people who would have played this game would be able to tell you that this is a screenshot from Screamer.
Yes, agreed.
Not on the level of Marathon, mind you. I think anyone who's got even an idea of what Marathon is would recognize a screenshot from that game.
Yes, very true.
But it is in that vein.
No, I agree. It's exceptionally recognizable. It does do it very well. Again, anime themed throughout the whole thing fundamentally, which is popping off right now. Everyone fundamentally has watched or enjoys at least some bit of anime out there. And I thought the opening sequence was freaking awesome. I was super excited about this game when it started up.
Is it really a piece of anime media if it doesn't have an over-the-top intro?
It's very true. Like, was it an OP at the beginning of the thing?
Yes.
And it does it very well.
It does it very well. I would even say that this ranks slightly above the best animated intro for a game we've ever had. The second best being being indivisible.
Oh yes, I just remembered what that was. You always knock out these games like, oh god, indivisible. Which one's indivisible? I'm like, whoa. Okay, yes, that's true. That did also have a banger of an opening sequence.
Yeah.
This was great. And again, I don't know. Have you heard of the anime Akira? You may or may I forget.
I've heard, yes, and I immediately recognized the reference.
Did you the Akira slide? Did you see
the Akira slide? Although I find it a slight bit dumb. The Akira slide in a car.
Yeah, in a car, it is kind of dumb. But it's there. It's there, baby. It's right there. In front of you.
Technically, they did reference Akira, and you can't say they didn't.
But I read the other day that visual artists are super excited to do one because it means so much to them in the past when they watched it. So when there's so many like famous artists now, I got to do an Akira slide in one of my animations or in a bike.
Yeah.
So I get it. The Akira slide still looks cool, and it's kind of daft with a car.
Slightly less cool in a car, but still cool for them.
And there are cutscenes in this game, which are done by an animation company. I know the opening sequence is actually an anime company.
Yeah.
But I thought the cutscenes were weirdly kind of slow. Was that just me?
What do you mean?
Like the game ran at 60, but the cutscenes ran at 30. There just seemed something weirdly slow.
Was it 30? Wasn't it lower FPS?
Yes, it probably was. I was just using that as an example. I just thought they were clean and nice and stuff like that, but they moved around like a visual novel does, so to speak. If you click the button continuously and the faces kind of move.
I'm so glad you said that. I was going to raise that in gameplay.
Yeah.
But I think that's because this game isn't just an arcade racer.
No, it's not. It's a visual novel to some degree.
It is
absolutely
a large
degree, fundamentally.
A visual novel. Which I had no idea it was going to be the case when we jumped into this game. I thought this was going to be an arcade racer. Hell yeah, cool, racing time. But it isn't. Yeah. It's half parts. It's half parts arcade racer and other parts visual novel.
Yeah, and there's a lot of visual novel in there at some parts between the races. Yeah. You're like, okay, I got you. A bit of characterization, a bit of juxtaposition. Okay, can I get into a car now, maybe? No? Oh, okay, back to the mechanic. Right.
There are this game's broken down into episodes. Mm-hmm. The first quarter of the game, I think, has 24, 25 episodes.
Yes, yeah.
Of those episodes, some of them go by and there's not a lick of gameplay.
No, sometimes the gameplay is like 30 seconds. And then you get more
and then you get more visual novel
dump. Yeah, it's true. Which, if you're into that type of thing, but I think Nick and I, we were so excited to get an arcade racer, and then when there weren't arcade racer bits, we were kind of like, oh, okay, it's fun. I want to get into my car
and do some arcade racing, please. Game.
The worst thing about this is that the opening sequence was cool. The anime art was cool. The visual segments were alright. I thought the racing visuals got really stale really quickly. Really quickly. I was like, come on. Like, you get the desert area. You get the city area. You get those areas mirrored and stuff like that. But granted, in an arcade game, you don't... But I just got bored by the racing tracks. I got to the point where I wasn't even like, which track are we on? Oh no, I just look at the corners. But I'm looking again. This game I wanted to play Need for Speed. Playing this game made me want to play Need for Speed, and I don't think that's a good side of playing a video game. Fundamentally,
you know what? Probably not, because I think the one big boon Need for Speed has above this one is the open world.
Yes, agreed. No, 100%. It's crazy to think that a game that old, like that is a good few years behind us now. Need for Speed was a better built game than this one. Sadly, I think this had everything going for it.
Okay, maybe better built. You're right. Maybe slightly better designed.
Yes. Okay.
You know it. Okay, we are now jumping ahead into gameplay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Visuals, or does Audio Man want to take us into audio?
You know what? The only thing for visuals is I'd say the UI. The UI and the character designs. Yes. The UI is functional, although it doesn't fully match the flair of this world. The UI is definitely put on screen for you to visually get the information a UI is supposed to give you. Although I would have, maybe it's the Persona fan in me, I would have liked if the UI had some flair.
some actual style to it. And it's like, yeah, I got
just
you.
Just a tad bit more. This is an anime game.
No, I do agree. But then we're spoilt with Persona, fundamentally.
I guess so. That, and one thing I do have to give this game is the character designs are memorable. Truly. I think
so.
I think so. Not maybe necessarily the individual characters, but the crews themselves.
You
could see which crews are the Yakuza, which are the scientists, which are the underground racers, which are the corpo shitheads.
Yes.
Which are the Japanese pop stars. You can see.
There is a visual distinction.
Who'd be who.
That's true. And
I like them.
Maybe I've watched too many anime and it just blends it all together for me. So yeah, it's good to see your eyes on it. Audio. What did you think of the audio?
So, of the 3 bits of audio, soundtrack, voice acting, sound design, I think there's one big topic, one clear winner, and one that I think is done okay.
Okay, I'm excited. Where are we going to start? The
Let's see if you can guess which one is the clear winner of the 3.
It's this is putting me on the spot now. It's got to be the soundtrack.
It is the soundtrack.
It's got to be the soundtrack.
The soundtrack is probably the best soundtrack I've heard in a while.
Yeah, the soundtrack on this is pretty awesome. I don't know again where the budget went, but the soundtrack on this is freaking.
The soundtrack's good. Great. I would go to the gym and get the best workout of my life by just listening to the soundtrack.
Pumps you up. But it pumps you up to read a visual novel.
Yeah, it gets. Oh, come on! It gets my blood pumping to do some racing.
Again, that opening soundtrack, the opening song at the beginning was also just freaking amazing. Good. I love that song.
Oh, come on! Even the music that plays in the menu.
Yes, the menu music. I knew that was coming up next as soon as you.
Are you kidding me? The menu music.
It
is that good.
It was. They were bangers all round. Fundamentally, I did appreciate the music that was being played.
I'm happy to say that I gave audio a big score just because of 2 things. The one being the audio, and the other one is a single person's voice acting. So
yeah,
we have a clear winner. What aspect of the audio is very talked about?
I'm guessing the villain. Are we talking about?
The voice acting of not necessarily just the villain, but everyone.
That's the biggest, which is so annoying because
it is.
Yes, ladies and gents, the big bad, the Mr. A, is the one and only Troy Baker. Which, if you know anything about video games, he's been VA-ing for video games for years. Be it Knights of the Old
Republic.
Done
everyone.
He's there. He is the Robert Downey Jr. of VA actors. He's in everything. He's a big. He doesn't say. His lines are limited in this game. I'll give you, but I get that he's being. But you didn't. Do you? Again, I mentioned this person last time. Do you know the person called Alex Lee who played Hiroshi in this game?
Yes, I do know him because he also plays the main protagonist for Persona 3.
That's right, and he also voices Solo Leveling, the protagonist there. So he's kind of an up-and-comer. So you've got Troy Baker, you've got an up-and-comer putting their lines down, doing really well, and then you got the rest of the cast.
Yeah, this is. Gents, Dave mentioned earlier how extremely diverse this game is.
Yes,
he's not wrong. This game is extremely diverse, but one decision made early on in this game's development was that each character should be talking in their native language.
Yes,
which was definitely a choice.
I kind of liked it. I did. I'm European. I'm a bit I'm spicy. I like the fun. I like the other. But the big problem is that the other languages. Well, in the game later, it's a universal translator, so everybody can understand everyone. So it kind of ties in story-wise. But the voice acting for the other languages was really bad. Like some of it was really, really bad. And I'm gonna. Again, I was so happy to find South African voice actor in this. I was like, wow, we're finally being represented in a game. Whoa, thank God South Africa's finally mentioned in a relatively mainstream game. But it was potentially the worst South African accent I have ever heard on anything. Did you think so or not? Because
I didn't not think so.
My wife wanted to walk out the room when she heard.
But okay, it's because I think it's because this is a different dialect to the one we're used to here in Cape Town.
Yes,
right. I think this is a Johannesburg dialect.
But you said that because of the complete anger that had arisen in my wife, I tracked down the voice artist who did this, which was no easy task because they didn't have like any credits to a lot of these voice actors.
I did it too. I tracked him down too.
He's not South African, is he?
No, he's not South African. I think he originates from South Africa, but he lives in the UK.
Yes,
so he's able to do a South African dialect, but I'd argue he's not South African, which wouldn't bug me at all. I really don't care. I truly don't care that he's not actually South African.
No, agreed.
What tipped me off is he uses a lot of South African or Afrikaans slang, right?
Yes, he does.
He calls someone sticky.
Yeah, right.
He calls someone a lighty. Yeah. He calls someone a domkop, very bad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There was an Afrikaans word that is so niche. Yeah, it immediately tipped me off that he wasn't South African when he did not
pronounce it right.
When he did not pronounce it right. The word I'm talking about, and all my Afrikaans friends would recognize this word. It's called awe.
Oh yes. The most painful use of that word. Oh, it made my skin crawl, and I'm an Englishman living in South Africa.
Yeah,
because it was atrocious.
It really
Sorry,
was.
go on.
Which tipped me off. This isn't a South African, which I don't mind all in the slightest. But that is probably why it sounded just slightly off. And I'm wondering, do other cultures that whose culture is in this game feel the same way about the character that portrayed their culture?
That's what I read. Exactly that. There were some people who thought the French voice actor was you know it's very hard to do voice acting. I'm not going to put it, but sometimes it feels like it's read off a page compared to actually acted in a studio, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And a lot of the French, the Spanish, even the Irish voice actress wasn't great. Like, I kind of know a few Irish people and how they speak.
Yeah, it felt slightly forced.
Yeah, and flat. Even the South African accent, which again, I'm perfectly happy with people trying. The Afrikaans words were hit with a really strong South African accent, but the other words, his English words, were spoken in like how I speak, like almost formal English. So it just felt disjointed, right?
Yeah, it felt, and I don't know. It is a difficult one to talk about.
But South Africa was represented in the game. That's still kind of cool.
What do you think would be the appropriate solution? Just get voice actors from that country.
Exactly right. That's one thing that kind of upset me a little bit, because South Africa gets so little like notice from the world around.
I don't know. That's been changing the past year.
But there are thousands of South African voice actors which would have done this for free. If you told them they were going to be in the latest like AA studio along with Troy Baker and stuff like that, you could have had so many good young South African voice actors that would have done it. And it feels sad that they didn't go that route because it's a bit unfair. Like it makes me sad, and they should have done that for every country. I'd have loved it to have been like a collaborative
I agree.
Type of thing.
I also think that they should have maybe added a pop filter and a foam cover for the mics, because the sound designer, I don't know, I just think maybe that they're so used to making really good racing sims that now that they are also making a story.
That's true, right? How much actual
maybe they don't have
the
chops. They don't have the chops yet.
That's true. I don't know how much narrative and spoken words actually done in like a serious biking game and stuff. It might not.
I don't think there's any at all.
So yeah, maybe it is really just a new thing they were trying to get through and kind of learn themselves. Which makes
maybe it's just a picture of Valentino Rossi at the bottom.
Yes.
And words.
Yes, it could genuinely just be that. Yeah.
That's it. But I've no idea.
And I actually praise visual novels that are actually spoken, right? Visual novels that aren't spoken is just a lot of reading, and you can kind of get a bit bored and you want to play something. So we're very pro voice actor.
Absolutely,
Arcade,
absolutely.
Right?
And please don't take this as us shitting on a game like this. I'm very happy a game like this exists. Yes, I'm very happy that a studio like Milestone did something outside of their comfort zone, outside of their wheelhouse. We're just saying how it could have been better and how we feel about certain parts of the game that hit home for us.
Yeah.
In no way do I want them to not make more games like this.
Yeah, agreed. I hope this actually makes money for them. I don't know how many units it sell, but I do. I hope all game developers to some degree make money.
I would like to have. I think Dirk van Wyk cracks me up.
Dirk
That's
van
it.
Wyk. Yeah, it's true.
That's it. And the sound design is serviceable.
Why was Dirk the bloodthirsty like psychopath? I thought that was. I was like, okay,
but I mean, it's something of a trend I've been seeing, a pattern. I don't know why. Maybe it's how the Americans kind of
because of Marvel, right?
Listen to our accent, but a lot of Afrikaans characters turned out to be the antagonists.
Right? It's what's his name? The Gollum guy who did the South African accent in the Marvel movies, right?
In Marvel, Claw. His Claw.
Yes. And he was South African or from Joburg.
Yeah,
or something,
he
right?
was South African in the story. And
That's
his
right.
name was Claw.
That's
he lost his hand, but now he's Claw. I'm
See,
allowed to do this accent because this is my culture.
Exactly. And they should have just asked Nick to do the VA because that was better
yes, please, I'm open.
Dirk.
Please, exactly. Kevin Feige. Please.
Yes. Come on. Okay, anything else audio or should we go
No.
Let's
go into
probably
gameplay,
the most
which
important
I think...
part, right?
What?
The most important part of a racer, like we were hoping arcade game is the gameplay.
Yes.
Right? This is the most important thing. The thing that should have been all smooth,
it is.
which should have been all great and amazing. What did you think?
So, I think this is where you and I are going to differ. Because I really liked the arcade racer. Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's maddening.
It might be.
How?
What? I liked it.
What? But what aspect? Okay.
What do you mean what aspect?
Okay. Did you like the two analog stick drifting mechanic, like the turning left and turning left again?
I got used to it, and then once I got used to it, yes, I started liking it.
This is crazy. You didn't think? Okay. I wrote down every single car, and you get to go into multiple cars because you take on the roles of each pit crew, feels exactly the same. There was fundamentally no difference in driving style, speed, acceleration, nothing between the multiple cars.
No, there was no difference, and I'm glad. Can you imagine jumping into a race?
Okay,
there's different race every single time, and you would have different handling, different acceleration, different top speeds.
But
just a completely different car to learn for every single race.
That is literally like Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Kart. You know, all the karts had different like handling, speed, acceleration.
Yeah, but you could pick the one you wanted.
That's true. Granted, this one does force you into the narrative of which car you go.
Yeah.
Okay, but did you not think that every car just felt like a bag of rocks? Like
Absolutely
just a heavy-assed. Really?
No, I did not. I liked the way my car looked. Before? It did not feel like a bag of rocks just dragging its ass over the tarmac. No.
Wow. I feel like we played two different... Okay, did you? Everyone complained about this, but I didn't really mind it. The difficulty spikes. Did you notice or were hindered by the aspect that sometimes it just became super hard, and if you didn't time your boosts and stuff almost perfectly, you wouldn't win the race?
Yes, I did. I did. Okay. I did experience some difficulty spikes. I got stuck on a race, and I'm still not past it.
I got stuck on a few races, and okay, I did. Sorry, I'm still just trying to get over that you enjoyed the gameplay of this. Give me 1 second. Did you not think that the gameplay-wise, the mechanics of not winning the race were pointless? You'd go through a visual novel bit and it would say, race the race, but you didn't have to place in the top 3 and you didn't have to come first. So you could just be right at the back and drive around for like 1.5 minutes. Now, some story or narrative thing would happen, but I'm thinking, why am I playing this part?
Because I'll tell you, because this isn't just an arcade racer. This is an arcade racer and a visual novel. It's not about becoming first all the time. You know what? I liked not having to come first every single time. I enjoyed not having that pressure.
Yeah, but but after 20 minutes of visual novel, 1 minute of racing, and then another 20 minutes of visual novel, I was looking forward to the racing part and having to like win, but been told, oh no, this is one of those ones you just drive around for a few minutes. I cannot
believe we're so different with this one right now. Because you're usually the one that enjoys the story, and I'm the one that's pro gameplay.
That's right.
We've switched places, Dave.
Because it's arcade. A racing game, you're supposed to win. You're supposed to win the tournament, get the top of the Grand Prix.
You are supposed to win the tournament. I'll give it but in some of these select races, I actually welcome the change of pace. When I saw that my objective is to finish the race in the top 3 position, or beat the best time.
Yeah, I don't mind a time attack.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, those weren't bad. I didn't mind the weird Dirks one where your car becomes like a bullet and you get to ram things off the road in this weird dream. That was kind of fun. But also infuriating is when you did the team races, and even if you came first, sometimes your team members didn't come anywhere close and you just lost anyway, so you had to do that whole thing all over again. I
agree. There was a couple of times where I came first in a team race, but because my teammate was 4th, we didn't win.
Right, you didn't win. Like, you did everything. Like, what else are you supposed to do? Like, push.
Yep. And only later, once you unlock the actual battling mechanic.
Yes, we kind of
each time you crash an opponent's car, you just get 5 points.
Yes, which is...
And so I realized, this is actually how the team racing is supposed to go.
Yes,
you can just win on your own if you just topple all of your opponents.
That's right. It kind of changed the mechanics up, which was more fun. I'll give you that. Is a ton more fun than trying to...
That makes me think that that's the actual team battling mechanics or team racing game design. Without the battling aspect, yes, then it's just bad game design.
That's right. Without the battling aspect, this game would have been boring as hell, right? Like if it hadn't changed that up, it would have been the repeat. No. Okay, here's one thing. Again, I couldn't find why they would do it this way. When you complete races, when you achieve your points and you get the top spot and you get the end of the race and you get your points and then you get your unlockables, right? Your cosmetics, your collectibles. Everybody loves a collectible. But it's randomized. So every car you have, you could get the boot of somebody else's and the spoiler of somebody else's or a CD and stuff like that. So you couldn't actually kit out the car like the way you wanted until you'd done like 1 billion races and actually got the same like kit for one car. You had to have like a Frankenstein mesh of like car additions, which I just thought, can't I unlock each character's like car cosmetics if I'm doing their story or something like that? It was all randomized, and sometimes you just get nothing. Just like a sound bite or the track. I like the CDs. That was kind of old school.
That was
I kind of
nice,
like the CDs unlocked. But I thought even the collecting wasn't that fun.
Obviously,
we had 2 different experiences in the game.
No, I mean, I don't think that's the best experience.
No,
I don't.
I think I just wanted to play Underground 2 too much.
I don't think that's the best experience.
No, it is.
No,
but you liked the gameplay. That's crazy to me. And it took a while for like the gameplay to actually unlock everything, like the tailgating and the shooting mechanic or the fighting mechanics and stuff like that. Yeah, I must admit, I was fun to learn.
A very long time for all of the mechanics to unlock.
I was bored in the end, which is again, I was because I so wanted this to be such. I had the need for speed. It's what I had, and I didn't get it, and that was upsetting from my aspect.
Oh no!
Anything else gameplay? Anything else?
Oh come on! Well, okay. Wait a minute.
Go on.
Wait a minute.
Go on.
I think that the gameplay for Screamer is something that needs to click.
Okay, agreed. Racing games.
I'm not going to say it didn't click for you. Maybe you just didn't vibe with it as much as I did, right? You said the twin stick style handling
was annoying.
That annoying.
It is annoying. That said, you can fix that in the menus, and I'll give them credit for that. You can fix the whole joint. Yeah, you can.
What do you mean? How do you fix that?
You can go and put it to your triggers or something like that if it makes you feel more comfortable. So right trigger helps you drift right, and left trigger helps you drift left, and stuff like that. You don't have to use the 2 analog sticks, which is. I didn't do that because I like to play the game the way it's supposed to. I thought the analog thing, but yeah, you can remap the controls if you want to, which is nice in the game design. I appreciate.
You know what? If I'd known that, I might have actually switched. I don't mind the twin stick handling. It's definitely something I've not experienced before in a game.
Yes, it was new. That's true. It was a new way of doing things. Which again,
but once I got used to it, I enjoyed just turning and drifting. And boosting into shortcuts, I found it quite fun.
Yeah, again, that's it. That's the thing about Critical Arcade. We give you like non-bullshit. If we don't like it, we don't like it. If we like it, we like it. We're not weighed down by making sure people are happy. But yeah, you're just mad. You enjoy you need to play Need for Speed again. I think
I'm not crazy.
I'm being sponsored by Need for Speed, by the way. I just got a car the other day, so everyone just needs to play Need for Speed. That's what you need to do.
Well, that's true. That's true. Everyone does need to play Need for Speed. But anyway,
exactly. Anything else?
No.
Okay, performance. What did you think?
Performance. I actually had quite some issues, and
really?
It's not like I had loads of different bugs. It's just one extremely annoying bug that I continue to get.
What was that?
Big lag.
Big the actual
giant
racing, right?
Giant lag, which in a racing game, you're right, is extremely annoying.
Yeah, it really is. It can even put you off the entire race. Like, you can actually lose positions in regards to
you really could. So I'd press a button, and then the game would freeze for a second before all of a sudden coming back to and then inputting. Executing my input, like
we've all been there. Yeah, that drives you mad. Fundamentally,
it does. And it happened so many times. Just this one singular issue. Right?
And you still enjoyed the gameplay. Sorry, you even had that problem, and you were still enjoying yourself. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Sure. I was annoyed because of this one very damning bug, but. Yeah. Yes, I still enjoyed the gameplay, dude.
Everything kind of worked well on my end, to be honest with you. Yeah, the only thing...
Oh, damn.
Okay, this is just because I'm old and stupid. When I booted up the game for the second time, I was trying to look for, like, campaign and story mode, and I was looking at the menu screen thinking, where the fuck am I supposed to go? That's a garage, and that says, like, online. I'm thinking, what? And it's tournament. I was like...
It is.
Okay. I kind of get we're in a tournament, but yeah, it took me a while to even clock that. Okay, value for money, what did you think?
I think this is a unique... experience, an anime drenched arcade racer with a lot of visual novel, not some, a lot of visual novel spliced in for some unique pacing experiences.
That's a nice way of phrasing it. I like that.
The story mode definitely adds some structure. I think it's going to last you a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's got
the replayability for the story is limited.
Yes, it's like fundamentally zero, which is again fine. Arcade kind of game. I couldn't tell you what the story of Need for Speed Underground is, to be honest with you. I know you had cars, and I know that you were racing them and trying to become the best racer, but I couldn't actually tell you what the story is.
No,
which is,
same here.
Again, the gameplay carries you through that one, so you didn't really need to.
The gameplay did it. And I think that's the same for this. If you enjoy the gameplay for Screamer, which might be some people,
might be not.
Might be none, you've got the arcade mode, which is just racing games, which is just racing races.
That's right.
You and a couple of pals can just race in Screamer.
That's right. And if you like leaderboards and your normal online play and unlockables and all the things that online and multiplayer kind of gives you, that is all there. That is an avenue for you to drive down and enjoy yourself and try to beat others, which is fine. Which is not something I would enjoy, especially in a game like this.
No.
But do you think it was worth $60?
Ooh.
$60 from the get-go.
I don't.
That's a pricey price tag for
I don't. This does definitely feel like a double A game, which tries to execute a couple of things really well.
It does.
Maybe tries to innovate some, which I'd say this game does. It's not trying to be the be-all, end-all arcade racer.
No, it isn't.
It's trying to do a couple of things really well, add some slight innovation, some ambition, and that's going to be it, right?
Yeah.
But if I wanted the $60 big racing experience, maybe a Forza Horizon would be better.
Yeah.
This, I'd be comfortable releasing at $50 and then just dropping the price after a while.
It's one of those things. It's the Hollow Knight or Silksong or whatever it's called. That's the thing that now nobody can't stop thinking about.
Yeah,
right?
Silksong really did a number on the industry.
It did this game does have a bit of production value. It definitely has a bigger budget, and it has Troy Barker to pay and Eric. What was that his name? Eric. I'm not great with names.
Hiroshi.
Yes, Hiroshi's character. So it did need a bigger budget, so it needs a bigger price tag. But it's so hard for $60, which is more expensive than the Oblivion remake.
It is. I don't think it's $60. Yeah, I don't think you should get it at $60.
$60 is so pricey.
When it released, maybe $50. I think that would be fine for a AA game like this. And then after a while, the price would drop.
Yes. And it's not a bad game. Price drops to around 30 or something. Definitely go play it. Obviously, it didn't gel with me, but it gelled with Nick. So there are lots of people who will enjoy it out there. I don't doubt it. It's just 60 out the get-go is just too high. I don't understand that price point from the very beginning. But I guess maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe they made many, many $60 purchases.
I really hope so.
Yeah, so do I. Again, if you've got to be pro any indie developer at the moment with everything going up and PlayStation
or just double A.
Like I said, I just love the idea of all us gamers just putting our money in their pockets compared to the AAA.
Totally agreed.
I find it hard not to be very pro them. 60 is just a bit too much for me.
Agreed.
So after everything said and done, what did we score this bad boy of a racer?
Yeah, I think let's go with this. The scores for Screamer this week all got together in the neon-drenched city of, what was it called? Neo Ray.
Yeah, which is classic name.
Got together for the big old tournament that Mr. C is I just gave it away. That Mr. C is handling for the big Screamer tournament. Everyone got together, everyone raced their little scory hearts out until there was one victor that won an absolutely absurd and made up number of $100 billion.
Yeah.
And that score was the retrograde rating of C, which, again, I've already said.
Yes, because you gave a bit of foreshadowing with the Mr. C.
That's what I said. Yeah.
It's your short story writing classes that were just coming into play. So yes, C is not too bad.
C really isn't. I think C is.
I think I was hoping for better. That was the problem. I was hoping for this.
Yes,
to be more.
You know what? That's right. If it wasn't for that one very annoying bug I kept getting, I think this would have been a higher score.
Yeah, this quality could have snuck up. If you look at the scores, could have snuck just up there to a C plus to maybe a B. So it is what it is. A C graded game, not too bad if you're into those type of racers or a bit of arcade style, or even just anime in general. Give it a go. There's some really good aspects, really boring aspects from my side of things, but maybe I'm just a grumpy old man who just likes to rant on podcasts. Give it a go.
You should. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. Subscribe, share, rate 5 stars, all of those different things. I'm not gonna do that big old spiel. Press the button. That's what it comes down to. The shiny one, the big shiny one that beckons you.
Yes, the one that just needs to be pressed every time you listen to the podcast, right?
Do it. Dave, where can we follow you?
Well, I am out and about, but during the process of this game, I did speak to the mechanic, the Englishman, of course, being a fellow Englishman. He shared... That's his name, Gage, which is the most American Englishman name that I've ever heard of. He shared the schematics to the Echo device with me, which, if you haven't played the game, it's a device that can rewind time to some degree and potentially stop you from dying. But just like Dirk told me, he reminded me of the potentially horrible things I could do with such a device, i.e. torture and question and all sorts of nightmarish aspects I can now do with this device. So by all accounts, if you do want to find me and I'm out and about, I will strap this to the back of your neck and you will experience things time and time again that one never wants to experience. I'm getting so dark.
No.
I'm getting so dark.
How about we don't do that? How about we just hug Gage's dog, Fermi?
Yeah, I did like him. He was the star of the show, fundamentally.
Everyone liked Fermi.
Yeah, exactly. He's the winner.
Don't follow Dave. Follow Fermi. But also, Dave, what have we got lined up for potentially not next week, but the week after?
Next week, if we're lucky, we might be getting our hands on the latest game by Capcom, but it depends on All Hail the List, if the list allows us to, and if everything aligns. So, hopefully the new game Pragmata, but if not, keep your eyes peeled for maybe Starfield or Cthulhu. We got a few the list has lined up for us, so keep an eye out. Either way, it's going to be a good podcast. You got to listen.
Yes, it is. Check in then. We'll see you then. Cheers.